Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to install the Divi theme and then how to configure it in a way that's going to help you build your websites faster. Now, if you're brand new to building websites and you don't have hosting and you don't have WordPress installed, I'll link to a video down below that'll show you guys exactly how to get started with that. So in order to install the Divi theme, you need to have the Divi theme. So if you don't have the Divi theme yet, I've got an affiliate link down below. This link provides me with a small commission, and that helps me to provide free tutorials like this and my free website design tutorial series. So thanks a lot for your support. So if you're ready to jump in and get started with this, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so in order to install the Divi theme, what we need to do is we need to open up the Elegant Themes website, and that's where Divi comes from. And I suggest opening up either in a new window or a new tab, because we're going to need to come back to it in just a moment. So here we are on this. If you haven't purchased it yet, go ahead and click on Join to download. If you've already purchased it, go ahead and click on Log In. And so what we need to do here is we need to just very simply just download the Divi theme, and that's this button here. And just so you know, there's the Divi theme and then there's the Divi Builder plugin, which is what this is. If you're installing the Divi theme, you do not need to install the Divi Builder plugin. Actually, I don't recommend doing that. You just want to install the Divi theme. It already has the Builder built into it. There are a couple of other plugins you might want to consider using. There's the Bloom plugin, which is an email opt-in plugin. It's really good. It gives you a lot of different ways of using an email opt-in forms and different ways of having them activate. So that's a good plugin to use. And then the Monarch plugin is to help you connect your audience with social medias and help them share some of your material. So those are two great things. But right now we're just going to install the Divi theme. So click on download. That's going to download that to your computer. And then let's go ahead and head over here to the dashboard. And then we're just going to go over to Appearances, Themes. We'll click on Add New. We're going to click on Upload a Theme. I'm going to do Choose File. I'm going to choose our Downloads folder, and then just click on the Divi zip file. You definitely don't want to unzip the file. It needs to be zipped in order for it to be able to install properly. And then click on Install Now. Okay, there we go. Now we can just activate the theme because we want to make the theme active. And there we go, now we've got Divi installed and we can start using it. So the first thing that I like to do before I do anything else is just go ahead and install my API key, so that way I can automatically get the updates, so I don't have to go back to the Divi website, download it, and then re-upload it to my website. It'll allow me to just say update, and then I can just update the Divi theme. So let's do that real quick. So let's go back again to the Elegant Themes website, then click on Account, and then you want to click on Your API Key. And then you're gonna have a long string of digits here. Just click on that, copy that, and then go back to your website, to the back end. And now we've got this new button here, which is the Divi button with the Divi settings. And so we wanna go to Theme Options, and we wanna go here to Updates, and then just paste in your API key, and then type in your username. Okay, and then click on Save Changes, and there we go. So now let's just go ahead and spend a little bit of time and let's configure the theme. Let's get everything set up to make it just a little bit easier and faster for us to build our pages with. So these are the settings that I like to set up when I first install the Divi theme. Okay, so let's go over here to General. And then if you have a logo that you already have for your company, you can add it here. Just click on Upload. By default, it has the Divi logo in there instead of your own logo. So that's something that you might want to do. The favicon, that's that little tiny square icon that comes up next to the URL of your website. So if you've got one of those, you can put those in. So I believe they're supposed to be 16 pixels by 16 pixels. And then here, if you've watched my video on website design, one of the things that I like to do is have a custom color palette. And so one really easy way to take advantage of that custom color palette is to just paste it in here, and then it'll make it part of the default color picker as we go through our website. It's really easy to change something. If you want to add a custom color, you just click on the color that you want to change, and then you can just type in the code here of what you want that color to be. And then you can customize all of these buttons. So that's a great thing to do. So let's just add in some custom colors here real quick, just as an example. Okay, so there we go. We've got a new custom color palette that we can use to just quickly add in colors based on our own color palette onto our website. So now as we scroll down here, next thing you may want to work with, and that's if you want to put a map module on your website, is adding a Google API key. I'm not going to go through how to set that up, but there is a great blog post on the Divi website on how to do that, and it actually comes up in the map module, a link to that on how to do that. And then we have here the option to show the Facebook icon, Twitter icon, Google Plus icon, and RSS feed icon, and those come up in either the secondary menu or in the footer as options. And so if you have your Facebook URL, you can just paste that in here. Otherwise, the hash is in here just so it does display it. If you don't want it to display one of those, you can turn it off here and then also remove the hash, and that'll keep it from displaying. And some other options here for if you're using WooCommerce with Divi, how many items you want to show up on the archive page, and everything else we pretty much can just leave alone for right now. Scroll back up here to the top, and let's go over to layout. These are just some options for your blog posts. So this is where you decide what you want to show up on your blog post. So if you want the author to show up, the date to show up, categories, comments, you can turn that on and off by default. So if you say you don't want the date to show up on your blog post, you just click on this, turns it off, then the dates won't show up on your blog posts. Okay, so that's just sort of the basic layout options. Now I just want to get into a little bit of customizing the theme with, say, the colors that we want, for example. So let's do that. So to do that, we're going to go over here to the theme customizer. And you can also get to the theme customizer. Let me just close this here. If you go to the home page of your website, and you go up here to the name of your website, which will be, this will be the name of your website up here, and then you click on Theme Customizer. That's an alternative way to get to your theme customizer. So here under General Settings, Site Identity, we've got the name of our website and the tagline. Chances are, if you set up WordPress using my tutorial, these should already have your site information in there. Then here under Layout Settings, I like to change the theme accent color to sort of the main color from my color palettes. Let's go ahead and do that now. And this one setting right here is going to change the accent color across pretty much the entire site. So it's automatically going to change the modules and anything that might have a theme accent color. You can, of course, go in and manually change it on like the different modules. For example, like the button module, if you want to have that be a different accent color, you can change that manually and have a default for that for all of your websites, as well as every time you add in a button module, for example, you can change the color of it manually. So it's a really good way to just quickly change a couple of settings on the Divi theme here, and it's going to make it faster, because as you can see, things like we're not going to need to change a lot of the colors every single time we load a new module. It's automatically going to be done for us. So really a time saver. Okay, let's go back. And then typography, if you want to adjust the body link to a different color, which I'm going to do for this, I'm going to make it a different accent color here. And then one other thing I like to do is I like to just bump up the text size to at least 16, sometimes 18, depending on the kind of content I expect to have on the website. I feel like 14 is just a little bit too small. And then I also like to bump the header text size up to at least 47, 44, 47, somewhere around there. Sometimes I even bump it up all the way to 60, depending on the font that I'm using. I'm gonna go with 47 on here. And then if you came up with your own unique font combination, you can add that in here just by selecting the font that you wanna use. And you can see on the right here, it's sort of already changing what the look is of the fonts. So you can sort of get a preview of what it's gonna look like. And then the other thing I like to do too is just make the body text color a little bit darker. Usually a darker gray, sometimes black, sort of just depends, but I really wanna make sure that it's easy to see our text on our website. We don't want it to be difficult to see. All right, there we go, and then click Save and Publish. And if we wanted a different background rather than the default white for our website, we could change that. And then down here, we've got static front page. And if you wanted to change your website so it didn't have your posts as your main homepage, and I haven't created a new page on this site yet, so there's nothing to show up here, but you can select a static page, and then you simply just choose which page you want to be your front page, and then you choose which page you want to be your post page. So that's what you would need to do there if you wanted to have a different home page rather than a page with just all of your posts and this sidebar. Now, if you've made any changes, make sure you click on Save and Publish before you close. Okay, and then one last thing is buttons here. I do like to, if I already know what the basic button style that I'm going to be wanting to use across my website, I like to just change the default style so that it reflects that. And so here under button styles, you can change what the default colors that you want your buttons to be. And this can be a real time saver if you're using a lot of buttons and if you want to have them generally be the same style. Something I'm not gonna do right here because it's kind of hard to see what the button looks like, so we don't have an example of a button over here to see how our styling changes are happening. But just know that after you make your first button and sort of you get the style of what you want your button to look like after using the custom settings in the button module, then just pop back here real quick and then modify the settings in this customize buttons area so the default will be what your button design is, and that's going to save you a lot of time when you're adding buttons to your website. Okay, so that's it. Those are the basic settings that I like to change when I first install Divi. There's a lot of other settings, as you can see here, and depending on what you're doing with your website, you might need to dive into those and change those just to make your life a little bit easier and faster. Okay, so there we go. We've got the Divi theme all installed, all configured, and we're ready to start building our pages. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to get started building your pages, and then after that, I've got a whole series of web design tutorials that are going to show you how to make some awesome looking pages, and some hints and hacks on how to build pages without actually building your own pages by using web design templates for the Divi theme. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, and let's cruise over to the next video on how to start building our websites with the Divi theme.